This was the building I interned at for State Representative Stephanie Kiflet. I remember the first time I had to go there, I got lost. The building is kind of tucked away into a small strip behind Rush Copley Hospital, but once I finally found it, I knew that there was no missing it again. Representative Kiflet, who is pictured here, is a Democrat from the 84th District. I happen to live in her district, so she's my elected official and was recently reelected to serve the community again after this past midterm. She is an ex-Marine, and she takes great pride in that. Representative Kiflet works hard to help veterans in our district by doing different service projects but also with them. Although I did not get the chance to spend lots of time with her, it was very evident and very clear to me that she cares a lot about her constituents and works tirelessly to serve them. And pictured here, this is Karen Novi. She will always be the first person you see walking into the office. I worked closest with Karen because she was my main mentor. I really enjoyed working with her. Karen is someone who always gives it their all. Throughout the semester, I watched as she worked tirelessly to provide the right help to each and every constituent that came in or called. I'm very grateful to have been able to work so closely with Karen because she taught me more about what goes on behind the scenes in a political office that many people would not know or even think would go on. She taught me about the different bills that were being discussed during the veto session in Springfield, and she also showed me how to interact with constituents over the phone, through email, and also if they were to come in. And she also taught me how to find just basic information that I may not know, but that I may need to know in regards to my local government. She always made sure that I felt welcomed and engaged at the office, and I really enjoyed spending time every day with Karen. And here's a picture of the front area, or lobby you could say, of the office. So this is what you would first see when you walk into the district office, and here Karen is pictured at her desk working. In the same lobby area, on the left side of the room, you will find a coffee, mini fridge, and brochure carrier on a table. I would always grab a Diet Coke from the mini fridge to kind of help wake me up from a bit of a long day. The relaxed environment of the office helped me to feel very comfortable and very excited to get to work each and every day. Now, taking a closer look at the brochure carrier, you will see the different projects, organizations, and causes that Representative Kiflet supports or wants the community to become more knowledgeable about. There are quite a few brochures in regards to her work with local veterans. This is one of the most important issues that the representative works on. I would even say that this is one of her favorites as well. If you were to walk down the hall a bit, you would come across the representative's office. Here's a snapshot of the general room. Pictured is her desk, some frames holding certificates and pictures on the wall, a bookcase, and her meeting table. During my time interning here, I got to witness the representative working during meetings with students and other constituents. In her office, she has hung up documents, certificates, pictures, and a few medals. All of them pertain to her service work. She has many pictures and certificates from her time in the Marine Corps. From this, anyone who takes a look can see just how proud the representative is of her service to the country and also to her branch. Now we're going to dive into where I spent most of my time. Walking down the hall right before you get to the representative's office, you will come across a medium-sized office space. This is where I set up camp for the semester. Here is a picture of my desk. I use this space for working on saw you in the newsletters, monthly mailers, answering the phones, and at times even just enjoying a late lunch. And pictured here was the computer that I was able to use. I used this machine for nearly everything I did. Coming up in a few pictures, I will show you some of the important sites I had to learn to use on this computer. And this was the phone that was pictured on my desk. I used this phone to call local places for some events that the representative was hosting, but also to help constituents if they called and they needed me to help them. And here is the formidable printer. Karen and I were always having issues with this thing. One moment it wouldn't connect to the computer or the Wi-Fi, the next it would just say that it had a jam when it didn't. Every day brought a new challenge. There were many times when I would have to send documents up front to Karen and just have her print them out on her mini printer next to her. This is the one thing that I most certainly will not miss about my internship. As I said before, there were some important sites that I had to learn to use in order to complete different tasks. One of the most helpful tools that I used was that of the district boundaries. The map shown in this picture shows the different boundaries around us. The 84th district, which is my district, and the one that I worked in, is the one outlined in white. It is the turquoise colored, oddly shaped little space right there. I use this map to find different businesses to call, find constituents to mail different things to, and also to just try and understand just how big, in a way, small my district is. This is a snapshot of the intern email site. I used this site a lot during the beginning of the internship, but towards the end, I didn't really have too much use for it. For this email, I primarily used it for contacting businesses and vendors when I was helping set up the Kids Expo that I will talk about in a little bit. Now, moving into some of the projects I worked on, one of the first ones was called the monthly mailer. The representatives likes to have a letter mailed out at the beginning of each month to inform constituents on upcoming events, activities, and just different announcements that pertain to the district. I had to print, stuff, and seal at times 500 mailers. Although it was not the most enjoyable task, I always somehow found a way to make a fun game out of it. Another site that proved to come in real handy when dealing with different constituents was what we called ILGO. This website had all the information on the Illinois government. I learned how to use this to track different bills and help constituents if they had questions about the government and needed to contact someone who was a little bit higher up than, say, me, the intern. Another project that I got the opportunity to work on was the I Saw You in the newsletters. This was a fun way to do community outreach. What it was I had to look through different newspapers to see if there were any articles about constituents who achieved or did anything that deserved to be recognized. Pictured here is one that I pulled about an OE student. The article was about his achievements in this past soccer season. As a part of the project, I would write out a little note for the receiver and then send it off to them. I would find who the person was and also where to send it to by using the Illinois House Democrat site that is also pictured here. So the first big project I got to dig my hands into was the Kids Expo. Now, each year, the representative will host a community event for children and their families to come and see different police officers, their dogs, and also vehicles, trucks, and even a helicopter. I was lucky enough to be able to attend the event on the day that it was hosted. It was really enjoyable to see all the kids' faces light up when they saw the dogs or got to climb in around in the trucks. To help set up the event, I had to call local daycare centers and schools about sending flyers. When they said it was okay, I would drive and drop the flyers off. The turnout was great. I don't know the exact number of people that were able to attend, but it was a fairly steady flow throughout the day. After the event, I had to write out a thank you letter and send it out to all the vendors and helpers who helped to make the event such a success. The next project Karen gave me was to reconcile the office's checkbook. I was actually really excited for this. I had just learned how to do this in consumer ed, so it was really fun to see how what I learned in the classroom was able to transfer and how it was applied in the real world. It also helped me to work on my skills in that department. The last and final project I was given was to help a constituent. This was the first time I truly got to help someone out all on my own. The man I had to help had purchased a vehicle back in July and was still waiting to receive his title. He had gone to the dealership a few times to figure out what the holdup was, but they were basically useless. He then contacted our office and I spoke with him. I wrote down his VIN number and got basic information about him as well as the situation. I then got to use the book pictured here, which is Karen's right-hand man, as she says, to find out who I needed to contact down in Springfield to figure the issue out for him. I talked with someone at the state office and gave her this constituent's information and worked with her to find where his title was. The issue was resolved fully after my last day. Karen and I are still in contact, and she let me know that with my help, the constituent was able to get his title. This would have to be my favorite project that I worked on this semester in the internship. It's very difficult. I would definitely say, though, that my most favorite and most memorable project that I worked on was definitely the one that I explained last in the pictures. It was helping out a constituent trying to find his car title. I found this to be really, really fun because it was the first time that I truly got to be fully hands-on working with someone who had a real issue, and I had to find a real solution for it. So it was really cool to fully immerse myself in what Karen or Representative Kifowit does on a daily basis. It was a little scary at first because I was all on my own, but it was the most rewarding, I would say. So after doing this internship, I would definitely say that I'm still very much interested in doing some sort of government work in my future. And that's just because I I just love the government, and I love understanding and gaining more knowledge about how it works, the different laws and bills and processes that everything has to go through. I just find it very interesting, and I know I'm a bit of a nerd for it, but it just really kind of sparks a little thing in me, and I just really love it. As far as my next career step, I was actually awarded the Army ROTC scholarship this past October. So this scholarship allows me to go to any college of my choosing on the Army's dime. So they will be paying for me to go to the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and there I will be I will attend there, and I will be pursuing a degree in political science with a concentration of international relations. So after that, I will become a commission. After I graduate from there, I will become a commissioned officer in the United States Army. And after my Army career, I hope to do some sort of government work, whether that be with the FBI, the CIA, in politics like Representative Kifowit is in, or simply just working at a department, say like the State or Defense Department. And then lastly, my best advice for future students who are thinking about doing this program or are already in it and just are kind of confused about what it really is just fully immerse yourself in wherever you go for your internship. I know that by doing that, I kind of realize just how much I enjoy government and just how much I enjoy politics. And if I did not do this program, one, would probably have a really boring class at 8th hour, but two, I wouldn't have been able to have the exposure that I did to unlock a new opportunity for me to really realize how much this field could potentially become a very exciting and lifelong career for me. So that would be my best advice, is just to figure out, one, where you want to internship. It should be something that you're really interested in, but just to really fully immerse yourself so that you could determine whether or not this is the right path you want to take.